As Jennifer and I continue to work with families of wealth, and we certainly believe it fits every family, the questions asked is, how do we build trust, unity, all these things into our family's DNA? And so building a high trust culture is actually a tool that we have in our toolbox that we use with every client we work with. And again, so much of this has to do with curiosity. There's a lot of questions to be asked about how people even view the tool. You know, what does trust mean to you? What do you define as your family's culture? Let alone how do you lift that to the next level, especially when you're working with these families that are running businesses. They're with each other all the time. They're with each other as business partners. They're with each other in the org chart of the company. They're with each other in the org chart of the family, right? So they're in each other's worlds a lot. So how do you actually build a high trust culture when you're actually operating in different types of relationships with your family members and your extended family members? So the very first thing we say is, you've got to feel safe to enter the room. So what we really work on is, what does it mean for you to feel safe enough to enter the room for the family conversation? And the reason this is important is, most family members carry baggage into the family context, which means they carry baggage into the family conversation, which means they carry baggage into the room that we're trying to work with the family in. So safety for us is the very first step in building a high trust culture. And that would be the same for the Garcia family, right? So Jennifer and I, we have our own family dynamics. And if we're gonna have a family gathering, everybody's gotta feel safe enough to be there. Typically, when you have safety, you open up the opportunity for conversation, for relationship, which means you're opening up the door for connection. So safety leads to connection. And we use the word curiosity a lot because one of the ways you can connect with people, connect with your family members, even connect with family members that you think you know really well. So it could be your spouse, it could be your parents, it could be your children, aunts, uncles, cousins, is to ask questions. When you start asking questions and you become curious, you're going to experience a new level of connection with people. Why? Because they're going to actually believe, not just think, but believe that you actually care about them. And typically your care level goes up, your interest level goes up as you learn more about people. So you've got building a high trust culture, you have safety to come into the room for the conversation. By being in the room and feeling safe, you open up the door for connection, relational connection. Because the goal is actually this thing called joyful living. And what we find more often than not is family members tolerate each other versus have joy when you're together. And again, it doesn't matter what wealth level you have, it doesn't matter anything. This all applies to what Jennifer and I say is the average family, the Garcia family. Our goal with our clients in building a high trust culture is that the joy meter raises with the family. And it only takes one person in the family to knock the legs out of joy. It can be the critical person, the obnoxious person, But what we try to do by allowing the family to define what safety is to them, have the family define what connection means to them, by the time they get down to joyful living, they are saying that is what we want. That is our goal with everything with our family. And when that joy level raises up, what happens is criticalness goes down, judgmentalism goes down, all that baggage that you typically carry into the room starts decreasing because it becomes less important. You are switching your priority from wanting to be maybe even the center of attention to how do we make the family be the priority. So one thing we say inside this tool is, when Jennifer and I go to work for a family client, we are fighting for the family. We are fighting for the high trust family culture. We are fighting for the safety of everybody. We are fighting for the connection level and the joyful living. We are not there to take sides with any one individual or couple. We are there on behalf of the entire family. So just want to challenge you. Building a high trust culture is not easy. It takes time. But if you can have a level of safety and you can start connecting, the byproduct of that is more joy and certainly joyful living inside your family.